Hi, this is Linda again, continuing my series on explaining American English. That's the overall series. And the first series section is pronunciation, and this will be lesson 5 on maybe some rules that you can sort of use. Notice the question mark, question mark, question mark. English rules are not reliable. You can't depend on them all the time. But we do have rules. They just are not dependable. I explained some of that in lesson 4 about why we did that. So I'm going to call this almost rules for vowel pronunciation. As close as I can get it. I'm going to start with this rule and give you some examples. Vowels are long if the word ends in a vowel consonant silent E. That's the rule. It's a rule we sometimes break. But here are sometimes when the rule applies. For an A, an E, an I, an O, and a U. This is the vowel. Here's a consonant and a silent E. The silent E jumps back over the consonant and says, say your name. Bake, say your name. Hear, say your name. Ride, say your name. Vote, say your name. Cute, bake, hear, ride, vote, cute. The problem is that we got lazy. That's what I call it. That's my version. With words that we use many, many times, we started saying it in an easier way. This should be some, but it's easier just to say some rather than som. It's just a little bit easier. So this word, instead of som, became some. Comb is what it should be, but we say come, short U. Some, come. With the word have, it's such a common word. Why don't we say have? Have is a little bit harder to say than the short A, so we say have instead of have. And then this one should be, because it's an OW, we say ow. We just say own. Own is easier than own. It's a word we use so much, we just made it easier. We use it so much, we made it easier. So much, we made it easier. So much, we made it easier. The word been, it should be been. But it's not been. It used to be been. But because when you're going from an E to an N, you're going to go in anyway. We just made it either a short E, which is or even a short I, which is it. Been or been. He has been working. Or he has been working. It's easier than been. And we usually in words, we let that be the long E. 2 E's say E. But in this word, that's so common, we just got lazy and said been. It's always going to be been. The same thing, if you take the S off, it's the word say. But when we add the S, instead of saying says, we just say says. It's easier than says, says. And the past tense of that verb is not said. AI should be long A. We got lazy and changed it to said, shorty, says, shorty, been, short E, or even been, short I. So this is the rule. We break it, and we break other rules too, because we're lazy. That's why I think we do it. I didn't read that in the book. That's what I think. Okay. Now, there's another rule Can't always use it, but you can try it. In an accented syllable, or if it's the only vowel, and it's in this case, in an accented syllable that ends with a vowel, it is long or something else. So, April, evil, irate, oval, union. It's there in a syllable by itself. The little dot means that's where we broke it into a syllable. But in an accented syllable that ends with a consonant, it is short. Apple, ever, irregular. I put these in there to divide the syllables rather than the star because this is the one I'm talking about. Object or object, under. If there's a consonant after it in the same syllable, it's usually going to be short. If there's not a consonant after it, it's usually going to be long, but not always. But it's a rule that you can start working with. Okay. Now this goes, I say often, and sometimes it's pretty close to 50-50. But EA, for instance, two vowels together. They used to teach in English class to say the first letter is going to be long, but then there were so many exceptions, it's not really a good rule. This can be the word tear, but it's also tear. A tear rolls down your cheek. I can tear the paper. Same spelling, two different meanings, two different pronunciations. Fear, beard, that's a long E, but when we have bear, and it's more of a short bear, it's close to a short A sound, not the E. Dear, like my dear friend. Wear, I wear clothes. Heel, heavy. Deal, death. There's not a good rule to say whether it's going to be, the EA is going to be E or it's going to be this. And occasionally it might be another sound. But those are the two main sounds that EA has. And you just have to memorize which one is which. So, the power of R and N and double L, they have an effect on vowels. When R or N or LL follow certain vowels, the vowel sound is often affected. For instance, an R after an A, it's not a long A, it's not a short A, it's a different sound. R is not air, it's not air, it's R. Car, star, jar, or if it's in one that should be silent E making it say its name, it doesn't say its name in this word. Care, bear, dare. It's because of the R. If you see an R after a vowel in one syllable, in the same syllable, it's probably not going to say, the vowel is not going to say its normal sound because the R influences it. OR, for, tornado, horn, foreign. It's not really a long O, and it's not a short O. Something else. For, tornado, horn, foreign. Now, an N often affects the letter E, not many other consonants, but it affects E, and it makes it almost, especially in the United States. Now, England is probably not going to be as, it won't affect it as much in England. EN should be N, but we make it in. This is bet. This is bent. Bet should be bent. But most of the time in America, they will make this more like an I. Bent. Set. Sent. Tell. Tent. The number 10, T-E-N, if I take that T off, it can be pronounced 10, and that would be the correct way to say it. But I hear it mostly 10, as though it were T-I-N, because the N has the tendency to change the E to a short I, or almost a short I. And then A and then L is almost always going to be aw. Aw, fall, call, haul, ball. These are rules you can pretty much depend on. The effect of R and N and double L. And then this one drives people crazy. In longer words especially, but some shorter words, but in longer words especially, unaccented syllables will change many vowel sounds to For instance, this already has a short U, but it's accented. Abundance. This sounds like a short U. This sounds like a short U. Abundance. Excellent. We're more likely to say excellent than excellent. It looks like excellent, but we're going to say excellent. Oh, you did that. Excellent task. Obstacle. 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 Elephant. Now you can say elephant, but we're more likely to say elephant because it's not accented, and this is the important one. Elephant. Irritable. You can say irritable or irritable. It's just as good. Irritable. Observable. Observable. We love I don't know why. It's not pretty, but we will put it in every chance we get. Control, not control or control, control, control. Computer, not computer, but computer. Sub already has a U. Stunts, substance. It is, what substance is that? Substance. We like that. I'm sorry. And one other hint about pronunciation for, especially with vowels. When I hear people saying vowels from other languages, it's like the mouth is more this way. You want to make them aw, ah, aw. And English is more, for most vowels, this way. Ah, ah, ah. It's rounder this way and not so much this way. If you can not use that shape as much and use this one more when you're saying vowels, people will be able to understand you better. Some of my students, when I listen to them first speak English, will sound like they're saying ah, 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 on all the vowels. And for the American ear, it's confusing because we go ah, ah, eh, eh. We're wider, not longer. I hope that helps. And that's the end of that pronunciation. One more will be about tips and tricks for pronouncing words. It's different from rules. And then we'll move on to another topic after that. I hope this helps. Bye-bye.